Hey everybody, happy Sunday, my favorite day of the week. Sorry I haven't been on in a little while, been super busy with work and school and everything and trying to figure out my path. But with the light of everything that's going on with Diddy and everything and the sex trafficking cases, I thought it was important to make a video. As somebody who's been victim shamed their entire life, I can totally relate to this scenario. So I'm going to share a little bit more into my past. So for those of you who watched some of my earlier videos, you know I definitely am not saying any of this to get any sympathy, because I'm definitely not a victim. I'm definitely a warrior, and I made it out on the other end, and my whole goal is to help others do the same. So I'm going to share some more of my story. Besides several people who, assaulted me ongoing when I was a child, I also mentioned that as an adult, I had been date raped. So I'm going to share a little bit about this experience. When I was 19, I lived in Ocean City, Maryland, with some friends that I grew up with my entire life. During this time, we were partying and all. I was young, dumb, obviously coping in not the best ways with life, and probably put myself in situations I probably shouldn't have been a lot of times. However, this was not one that I thought was going to be bad, because it was all of my friends and all of these people that I had grown up with, right? So apparently one night when we were all drinking at our condo in Ocean City, I was slipped a roofie and date raped by, really don't even know by how many people were there, but this is something that I did not even know about until I was almost 35 years old. Actually, I was at 33 when I found out. It turns out one of my friends said it had been eating at him for a long time, and he felt like he needed to tell me. So at 33, he reached out and told me that this happened when I was 18. Talk about a shocker, right? People that were supposed to be my friends and support me never told me. Some of them participated. And the crazy thing was, the one who got it all started was the quarterback of the football team. Those who know me know that, I always fit in with a lot of different crowds, whether they be hippies, jocks, scholars, nerds. I was kind of friends with everybody. Well, this guy, I guess, apparently was frustrated because I never liked loudmouth guys who think they're all that. It's just very, very unattractive to me. I like more subtle, nerdy kind of guys. So I guess he took this to offense and thought that, hey, if she won't be with me, then I'll just take it. Well, it's pretty crazy to think that I had other friends there, including roommates that I live with, who never even told me about this experience. I have to say, one of the hardest parts for me moving forward was not knowing what happened, right? The other sexual assaults that I experienced, I could deal with because I knew about them, right? And I'm coping with them. However, this experience of being completely blacked out and not knowing who or what happened is something that is really, 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 really hard to deal with, because your mind tries to fill in those blanks, right? When all this Diddy stuff came out, it really hit me hard, because I thought, you son of a bitch, you're giving all these people drugs and doing God knows what, and they don't even know about it. And besides that, besides having to deal with the fact that they know that they were raped, their mind is going to forever try to fill in those blanks with answers that they will never, ever know. And that is really difficult to deal with. I thank God that, I'm very strong spiritual presence around me, and I have a strong faith in God that gets me through everything. So I've kind of chosen to just move on from that. And in fact, I actually had the guy that started it all reach out to me and give me a sincere apology as an adult. It turns out he went through a severe life-altering experience as well after that. So I really honestly believe him and forgive him. I think he was just young and dumb, and I really honestly believe that God works in mysterious ways. So I've forgiven those that have hurt me, which has helped me heal in a lot of ways. But all this stuff going on with Diddy, and knowing how people are going to victim shame these women and say that they did this and they did that and they deserved it, that is just crazy. No girl deserves that. I'm 45 years old and I'm still dealing with people victim shaming me over things that I did 20 years ago. I have friends who will look down on me or whatnot for mistakes and mistakes that I made in my past, but yet they're the same age as I am, if not older, and making way more mistakes today than I was back then. So it's kind of funny when people try to victim shame and put others down and make them look bad. Nobody deserves that, and I don't care what they have been through. I feel like 9 times out of 10, these women, even if they were sex workers, being paid and things like that, 9 times out of 10, they have trauma. I don't think the normal girl wakes up and says, hey, I want to be a hooker or a stripper, right? A lot of times they have a lot of trauma. Now, I can honestly say, thank God I have never sold my body for $1, never sold my body for a picture, never took pictures or videos with anybody other than one boyfriend, which I know and trust for a very long time. And I've never been on OnlyFans. I've never stripped, and I never did any of that, thank God. But I do know quite a few women who went through a lot of stuff who did. And it doesn't make them bad people. It makes them people that are dealing with trauma and coping with trauma in unhealthy ways. So instead of trying to victim shame and punish these women even further, try to have some sympathy. People are quick to judge, and it's real easy to say negative things about people when you've never been through those things yourself. As with life, one thing I've discovered, though, is that God works in mysterious ways. I would never wish bad things or harm on anybody, but when I look back on my life and those that have hurt me, I really straight up 100%, I don't want to put people's names out there and make them feel bad because I'm not one to pass on negative energy, but I can tell you that some really horrific things have happened to those that have hurt me. Both those that have hurt me as a child, the one who raped me as an adult, and even guys that I dated in my unhealed version of myself that I allow get away with shit that I probably shouldn't have, which, by the way, now they totally gross me out. And no way would I ever give them a second chance, thank God, because I'm so much a different person than I was back then when I was with them. However, what's that say about them? That they can prey on girls or other people who have been through really hard things and put them through even more stuff. So this is just a reminder, not to judge and to try to think where people are coming from. People don't always have easy lives. I know that I smile and meet everybody on a daily basis, with joy and gratitude, and I practice that intentionally and purposefully. However, there's times you'll see me smiling when really deep down inside I feel like crying. I have good days, I have bad days, and it's just life. We deal with it, we try to get through it and grow and become better people. But one thing I can honestly say is I am so grateful that I have never passed any of that negative energy forward. I have people that have hurt me that shame my name and say that I did all the things that they have did to me, which is just absurd. Again, whatever. I just look at that as that's just one more aspect to them being unhealed or narcissistic, which, me being an empath, I definitely know that I tend to draw in. I hope this helps some people because, dealing and coping with things like this isn't easy. But I will say this, my number one goal in life is to take down these people, right? Anybody who's out there hurting, harming, and victimizing others, me and my people, God and my spirits, we're all coming for you. And for those of you actors and actresses that were involved in all of these Diddy parties, I think that's pretty fucking gross. I tell you, you never see KRS-One, Mobb Deep, Smith & Wesson, any of the Boot Camp Clip, Wu-Tang, any of them. You don't ever see any of the real hardcore hip-hop realness artists hanging out with Diddy in these crazy ass parties. And the crazy thing is, Diddy and all of his famous friends that are played on the radio, the ones who kids listen to and all of this, they're the ones who are doing this stuff. Yet We have the hip hop MCs and artists who, you know, are not mainstream, who are considered gangsta, right? But yet they're the ones who would never put themselves in those situations and are some of the most realist MCs there are. So it's just a reminder that sometimes money and power can, you know, overpower and influence things. And it's just a reminder to look beneath the surface, you know, pay attention. How do people treat each other? How do they handle stress, you know, and trauma? Do they go out and spread that forward? When bad things happen to them, do they blame others? Do they take accountability? You know, all of these things are important. With that being said, you know, just try to remember that nobody deserves this, and sure as hell nobody deserves to be victim shamed.